Howdy folks, it's Turtle here and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator, and today we're going to start another bush trip. It's been a while since I've flown a bush trip because you've been watching pre-recorded stuff, and then I did the subscriber request the other day. So let's just go in order here. If we start at the top and go down, what do we have next? We have Kimberley Coast, Mediterranean Coast, Portugal, Pyrenees, and then another Australian one. So we got some Australias and some Iberias at the time this is being recorded. Let's go from here. Let's do the Australian Southeastern, Canberra to Melbourne. And let's see, in the Cessna Skyhawk, so another easy plane to fly, which is good. Alrighty, let's read about it here. The southeastern corner of Australia offers a broad multitude of sights from the air, including exquisite architecture, long stretches of coastline, and the country's highest mountains. Lifting off from Canberra, Australia's capital city, you'll explore the best that this planned urban area has to offer before setting off to the hills and peaks of the Australian Alps. Explore vast stretches of rolling terrain woven into valleys, broad plains, and plateaus until you reach Mount Kosciuszko, the country's highest point at 7,310 feet above sea level. Kosciuszko is surrounded by lakes and reservoirs, each with its own unique character. After passing over the crowning heights of Australia, you'll explore the urban center of Melbourne, including some of the most spectacular skyscrapers in the country. The journey comes to an end after visiting Port Melbourne on the north extremity of Port Phillip Bay. And then we don't worry about the achievements because there isn't one, and we don't have to worry about back on track and what we're doing. Ooh, 4 legs only. Alrighty, cool. So we'll do our 1 video per leg, or 1 leg per video thing. So those of you who have flown bush trips with me before, we'll repeat some stuff for the people who haven't, and then those who are new to bush trips with me, you'll get to see what we're doing. So 1 leg per video. If we look here, this is our destination for each leg. So we got some paved runways. There's 1 crazy grass one to find. Okay, so we just have 1 difficult landing, but the rest should be okay. In a pretty easy plane to fly, and don't really need to worry about wind in the bush trips, don't need to worry about weather in the bush trips, don't need to worry about ATC in the bush trips. You just fly and enjoy it. So there's your introduction. Here you go, leg 1 of the Australian Southeastern bush trip. Let's get our fuel ready to go because it's going to start up and running at the end of the runway. So here we go. Alright, let's see here. Oh yeah, it has the weird frame rate issue on the ground that we had in the last video, but it'll be fine once you're in the air. Let's get this cleaned up here first of all, and then we'll use the timer. Wind really doesn't matter in this case, but let's turn it on anyway. 2 knots behind us, whatever. And let's get the timer ready to go. Come over here. Anything we want to do here? Yeah, we can zoom this out a little bit. And repair and refuel, which is Control R for me. There we go. Filled it up. Okay, very straightforward. Has been a little while since I've flown this, but these terrible frame rates at these busy airports until you get off the ground. Like I said, it'll be fine once you get off the ground. It's a bug that no one seems to have ever addressed. Whatever. Flaps down 1. Flaps are actually up. Oh, that's interesting. Now, we did just have Sim Update 9 yesterday, so there might be new bugs. Might have some old bugs that have been resolved. I don't know. I did read the change log. Nothing in there except, well, the props, I guess, have changed with these smaller aircraft, so we'll see how that affects us as we fly and try to land. I might not notice anything, or I might have to relearn to land. We will see. Let's hop aside and look around a little bit before we read about where we're going. That looks pretty spectacular. I've talked before in these bush trips how the scenery can range from crappy to amazing. This is pretty good. This is pretty high up there. Usually the satellite imagery scaling can be pretty screwed up, but this is really good. And it should be because it's a bush trip and they've handmade some of these airports and stuff. So yeah, shouldn't be a problem. Looks good to me. This is not an eye candy simulator, but close enough. I kind of use it as an eye candy simulator. Alrighty, let's see here. Read about where we're going. We got quite a long leg here. So from Yankee Sierra Charlie Biscuit, Bravo to Yankee Charlie Oscar Mike. Let's see if these are in order, because we've had some issues with other bush trips where these are all screwed up. Looks like it's correct so far. We do have... Oh my gosh, the map is terribly slow. Okay, we're going from there to there. We do have the GPS option, because I have not quit the sim since we started the bush trip. So like always, we will use GPS to fly the first leg, just because we can, and then we'll leave the sim, come back, and then we'll have to do everything manually after that. Just because we can. Alrighty. So let's see. After lifting off in the sky from Canberra Airport, head to the northwest to Mount Ainslie at 2,700 foot peak that lies to the north and overlooks Canberra. That's a quick minute, so we're going to keep looking here. Turn to the southwest to fly over City Hill, a key point of the Parliamentary Triangle. And then quickly after that, man, this all happens right away. So we've got a peak, and then City Hill, and then right after that we have Lake Burleigh, the artificial lake, and then right after that we have the National Museum of Australia, which lies at the end of Penobscot Peninsula. And then right after that we have the Parliament House. Then right after that we have the Royal Australian Mint. So we got all these things. Oh, let's see if they fix this. If I minimize these like this, do they come back? Oh, they do. Dang it. Okay. Let's this fix. If we start the timer, then we leave the window and come back. Nope, that's still broken too. At least in these Australian ones. So whatever, they never fixed it. Probably not enough people complained about it. So anyway, all this we're going to take right away. So we have all the hills and the buildings to look at. And then we'll come back and read more when we get done with the POI 6. So because we're going to use GPS for the first leg, come on map, it is so slow to load this map, so many bugs. You can see that like the first 6 POIs are all right away. Let's check to see, look at this, bam, 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 bam. And then we'll read once we get to here. Okay, so let's set up GPS since we can, or GPS, let's set up autopilot because we can. Flight director, we are going to use GPS. And we're going to go, let's go 3,200 feet for this first little bit anyway. And we'll use vertical speed at 800 feet per minute. Yeah. And we're good. We don't need the timer for this because we got GPS for this first leg. Alrighty, I said that out of order from how I normally do, but just kind of want to mix things up a little bit, or otherwise every trip becomes exactly the same, since I am doing every single bush trip. And most of you have seen every bush trip. Okay, parking brake, whatever. So we're going to take off here. Pretty straightforward. We will let autopilot do the flying for this first leg because we can. And then we'll just look outside at everything as we fly over it. And it's going to be very simple first leg here, which is fine. And our frame rates, as soon as our wheels leave the ground, our frame rates will crank right up. So there we go. We are off the ground. Brakes to stop the wheels. See, frames are perfect. High 60s. Even I think you have a locked at 60. There's a traffic on the runway. Flaps coming in. We'll fly runway heading just for a moment here. And then there's our first hill right in front of us. So let's make sure we get some altitude before we engage autopilot. Still hand flying. I just want to make sure we clear these hills and everything. And keep an eye on that GPS track. See the hills right in front of us. That's how they do this. They put you right over it if you use the GPS. So we generally wouldn't do that anyway, but in this case we will. There's 2,500 feet. I just want to make sure we're going to get up there before I engage autopilot. And then we'll look around because this scenery is really, really good. All of these Australian bush trips have been really, really good. Alright, we've cleared the hill according to the nav log. Well, we're still a little low in terms of covering terrain, but we're going to autopilot anyway. And it's going to S-curve us a little bit. Why so dramatic? You see that? Because it wants to put us right over the hill, that's why. And now it's going to turn us back. See, you shouldn't have done that. Silly autopilot. I could have done a better job than that. Now I have all this train turbulence to deal with. Whatever. We're very close to this hill, but we'll be fine. We'll be okay. Then we're going to go over there and check out the buildings. I just want to see us. I just want to see it throw us around, because that is really, really funny, actually. There we go. Oh my gosh, silly autopilot. Whatever. I mean, it's not anything wrong. It just does. It's very literal, and it's like the track is to the right, even though we were crossing it. All right, this is a good altitude for this, I think. Let's hop outside, kill the immersion a little bit, I know, but moving over the hill right away. And then we're now going to go over the buildings in the city, as described in the navlog. I'm not totally convinced about how these are done. They look kind of post-apocalyptic. Not terrible. We've definitely seen worse. But anyway, beautiful town, big roundabout in the middle. Too bad we're going through it so quickly, but that's just how it is. All the different buildings that were discussed. I'm not sure which ones are which, but you can look for yourself if you know the area. And that is one busy roundabout. Wow, and there's the hill. There's the airport. There's the bridge. Well, there you go. These must be some other things you wanted to look at, because when they stick out like a sore thumb and look cartoonish, you know they want you to look at it. That's how it's easy to spot the POIs. Because it's like a cartoon compared to the rest of it. So that's obviously something they wanted us to see. Right? So there we go. Okay. We are not quite... Well, let's bring back throttles a little bit, because we're stuck in the red here. We are a little low for full power. That's okay. Alrighty, let's compare maps here. Alright, so we got one more thing in front of us, then we're going to turn, and then we'll keep reading about everything, because I think POI 6 is where we would have left off. Yes, then we'll read about POI 7. Okay, so we're going to look at... Mom wants us to look at something else here. Let's hop outside, because that's making me dizzy as all get out. Why is it so shaky? Oof. Very, very shaky. I don't know, but we're supposed to look... Oh, that's what we're supposed to look at. See how it's very different than everything else around it? So that's what we're supposed to look at with the giant double roundabout. That is so cool. That is so cool. Look at this. Just look at the overall imagery of the city and everything. Oh my gosh. I'm stopping to smell the roses here. There's the hills and everything. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Alrighty, so we're about to reach the last thing it wanted us to reach here. Whoops, wrong button. You want the map. There we go. Yeah, and then we'll read about the next thing in a second. So let's look out the window. I think this was the Mint area. Maybe we already went by it. Well, that could be it right there. Could be. Oh, I love this altitude because we can still see the traffic. Alrighty, here we go. Let's read about the next things. So we're headed to POI 7 here. So in 3.5 minutes, we're going to go to the Canberra Deep Space Communications Complex. From the Royal Australian Mint, fly to the southwest, passing over a number of small hills. That's probably all this stuff because it is 3 minutes. We might need to climb. And then Murrumbidgee River, which is going to be right here probably. To reach the Canberra Deep Space Communications Complex. I assume it's going to be after the river here. And we're looking at POI 7. Yep, between the two rivers. So that's where we're headed. And these hills are kind of high, so let's climb. Let's go up to about 6,000 is going to have to be, isn't it? Yeah, it's going to have to be 6,000 because we got to get over these hills. Alrighty, so 3.5 minutes out. Let's look at this stuff together a little bit, just because you have to manage the aircraft and everything is so beautiful. Look at that. I love how the roads are all lined with trees. Isn't that awesome? It reminds me of the cityscape I'm building in my Minecraft world on the SMP. I should probably put some trees, at least small trees, along my city road. Alright, why is it so shaky? Why is the train turbulence affecting us this much? This is nuts. Hopefully they didn't introduce a problem. There are still some bugs you need to fix in the bush trips anyway. Is the timer stops and the POI, the navlog POIs expand every time. But hopefully everything else is fine. I know we were like 2,000 feet above ground level back there, 1,500 above ground level, but we shouldn't have had train turbulence like that. Anyway, now it's smoothing out because we're higher, but still, there shouldn't have been a problem that low. Alright, 4,100 feet and climbing to 6. Hopefully that'll be enough. I think it, well, did it say 7,000? No, it said 7,000 in the overview. It didn't say 7,000 feet here. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we're about to reach this deep space complex place. Right in those dots. And then we'll read about the next thing, and then we'll have some sightseeing without my voice because it'll be a 12-minute gap, it said. Otherwise, the shakiness is ridiculous. Look at that. Oh my gosh. It's a little bit much. I mean, maybe that's realistic, but it feels like a bit much. This is fantastic, isn't it? Wow. Very nice. So, there we go, right below us. There's the space complex. Do you see the satellites and stuff? Pretty hard to miss, right? Pretty obvious what we're looking at. Just enjoy the view here for a moment, and then we will continue on reading about everything. Lots of satellites. That is really cool. It's amazing what you can see out in space, isn't it? Alrighty. You can rewind the tape if you want to see it again. I don't think we can see from the cockpit though, because we're right over it, which is the problem, going right over stuff. Alrighty, we're still headed 800 more feet. Hopefully that is enough to clear that train. I might need to make further adjustments. Otherwise, going on now. Where are we? 8. Tantagara Reservoir. About 13 minutes out. Continue on southwest heading. Flying over the low mountains and gentle valleys to reach the Tantagara Reservoir. And that's out quite a ways. So, if you look on the map, I'm guessing it's down here. Let's see if I'm right by using our little cheater map. And no, there's another reservoir further down yet. Because this one is that one, but it's actually further away. Okay. So let's see. Yeah, it's that one down there, right? Come on now, why does it keep doing that? Come on. Yeah, so when we get down here, I will see you. So I'm going to give you a little bit of sightseeing. And I'm going to manage the aircraft to make sure we actually clear this as we get to 6,000 feet. I'm sure we're fine, but it is a bit shaky. So let's add another 500 feet to this. Do we use this one for that? We do. And vertical speed. Oh, better watch our we better get the throttles back in. I forgot I had them back. And do we need to bring back conditioner or mixture for this? Yep, good. It's going up. Now it's going down. Let's put 10% back in. There we go. There we go. Now we're climbing. Good. That was scary for a minute there. I better pay attention. Alrighty, sightseeing for you for a while. We've got about 12-13 minutes till we get to the next POI, which is Reservoir, and I'm going to manage my aircraft, and I'll see you in a little bit. So we're not at a reservoir yet. We're at this other place that still has like a dam type thing. I just wanted to jump in and look around at this area with you because it is really, really cool. As long as we stay on this track, we should avoid these hills and not run into anything. But that train turbulence is bouncing us around pretty darn good. But we still have a ways to go yet, I think, to the next one. Yeah, we're headed. Whoa, come on. Why does it keep doing this? Yeah, we're headed down to this one here. So we're about halfway there, but I just wanted to look around with you all a little bit here and enjoy this together, because when I edit down my sightseeing, I don't always catch what I think I'm going to catch. But I wanted to catch this for sure, so when I do talk about it, I know it means to keep it. So there we go. One little reservoir looking lake, but not the one we're looking for. That looks great. Look at the dirt roads above all the hills and mountains. How awesome is that? Alrighty, hopefully we'll clear this next hill and I'll see you again in a couple minutes. Well, we're coming up on a reservoir, which is good. Still have some train turbulence, but not too bad. The scenery from this altitude is absolutely spectacular, though, if I may say so myself. Again, the dirt roads going through. That is so cool. Alrighty, let's see here. I'm about to reach the reservoir, so let's read about what is next. Let's see. Which one was it? Was it that one? YCOM River. YCOM River, I think. Turn to the south and pass over rolling forested peaks of the snowy mountains of the Australian Alps to reach the YCOM River. 5.5 minutes of that or so. And then there's a lake at the end of the river, and then towards the airport. So pretty straightforward, I think. Can we see what we're doing from here? Okay, so river, and then the river probably leads to this big old lake. Let's pull up our cheater map and see what it tells us here. Where are we? We're going to go to the river here. So this is the river we're going towards, and then the lake, and then the airport is at the end of that. So pretty much on the home stretch already. River is over there somewhere. Off her nose, I guess, and then the lake. You can see the lake already. See, this huge lake starts here, goes all the way, and then the airport. So we'll keep this altitude till we clear these hills and get to the lake. Once we get over the lake, then we will start descending towards the airport and land. So River Lake Airport. Enough voices from me until we come in for our final approach. So enjoy the scenery for a couple minutes, and I'll see you when we can get to that airport. Well, as we come in for our airport, the train picked up a lot. So I actually had to climb back. I started descending, but I had to climb back because the train came up very quickly and is not rendering very well. So I don't know what the heck happened, but it looks kind of there. It's okay. Now it's finally catching up. Still not totally done yet though. So yeah, very strange. And look at back there. Look at the colors got weird. See the trees in the very middle. So I don't know what happened. It was kind of a weird couple minutes there from the last time I spoke to you. But anyway, there's an airport up here somewhere. Not sure where, but we will find it and we will land. And then when we come back for the next leg, I will have left the sim by then, so we won't have GPS. We'll have to do it manually, so stick around for that drama. Although no drama in it, flying is good. So yeah, we're coming back up to 5,900 so we can clear the train. And then once I know where the airport is, we'll land. We might have to circle a little bit since I don't know the elevation. I don't think the navlog gave us an elevation, which I kind of wish it did. That is something the navlog is missing. There are basic things like elevation. That'd be very nice. But anyway, snowy mountains, although they're not very snowy right now. Dirt roads, which I think of when I think of Australia. And now that the scenery is rendering in, is looking better, but there was a weird time there when it looked terrible. Let's see what it looks like behind us. Still looks weird behind that tail. Not sure what's going on, but anyway, kind of cool. Not kind of cool, very cool. We came through those mountains. Really awesome. For some reason, I thought this would be a flat bush trip. I'm glad it's not, but I don't know why. Probably because of the thumbnail look flat. But anywho, it's looking good now. There we go. More just rendered in. There we go. Now we're back in business, and we cleared the train. Now I just need to find this airport, which is up here somewhere. Bring back throttle a little bit. Looking good if you ask me, as everything comes into view here. The airport is supposed to be directly in front of us. Does that mean it's that right there probably? I'm assuming so. What does it look like on a reference image here? I mean, maybe it's up there, but yeah, it could be up there, but maybe it is there. It's hard to tell, so we'll just have to wait till we get there. So we come down a little bit. Maybe we can. Better yet, let's just hand fly at this point. It's more interesting anyway, so let's start coming down a little bit, so we'll bring back throttles for that. Throttles to descend. I mean, I'm gonna, oh, starting to roll away in my chair. I'm gonna fly as though that's our airport. Has to be. So let's come over here so we can, you know, have an approach from here instead of an approach from right next to it. And then keep our speed manageable so we can get flaps out and land without having to go around. But I think, yeah, that has to be the airport. Man, this train turbulence is so wild. I wonder if that should change with the sim update. I don't know. I'm recording this the night after the sim update, so haven't had time to read about anybody else complain about anything, but it is pretty crazy with this train turbulence. Admiring the scenery there, the long curvy road. Might be a Forza Horizon 5. Wow, that looks awesome. That is just fantastic. Is that our airport? I want to say that's our airport. It has to be our airport. It sure looks like an airport to me, so that's what we're aiming for here. Don't have any flaps out yet. We got to make sure we clear that hill right there before we get too low. And then we can turn in, keeping an eye on the runway and the hill and our speed all at the same time. I did trim back so we're not descending that much. Actually, yes, we are. This train turbulence is bouncing us around really good. Oh my gosh, that's actually making me dizzy and nauseous as though I'm really there. Let's turn it around this hill a little bit just so we have the runway in sight. We'll keep our speed just above flap range. Mixture is all the way in now. And we'll slowly turn around the corner. There is our runway. There is the hill. And bring back throttles. And nose up to slow down. Gears down because it's fixed. And first set of flaps down. Alright, it is so shaky. I want to look out the window, but the ground, the turbulence is it's so wild. I don't understand. We don't have that much of wind or anything. But anyway, let's get full flap down. Then we had like an updraft that really sent us up. So now we gotta come down a lot and lose some speed, but I think we'll be good. Yeah, no problem. Very, very long runway. Should not be a problem. We are really high, but we'll take care of it here. I could slip it in, but I'm not going to worry about it. There you go. Now let's aim for the numbers. And then we'll just ride this out for a while. Not in a hurry to land. There we go. Ground effects. Let's try to get a little bit centered. Soft and gentle. There we go. Boom. And nose wheel down gently. There we go. And step on the brake. Flaps coming in. And look for that save icon. Where are ya? There it is. Alright, it's supposed to take like 38 minutes. Of course, it took longer, but you know the drill. One leg per video, so like and subscribe so that you know when leg 2 drops, and I'll see you next time.